Spoiler warning, Bring Her Back 2025 ending isn't just shocking, it's a lie. Buckle up, because this breakdown will rewrite everything you thought you knew. The movie begins with Andy, who appears disturbed as he watches a strange boy behind him cutting fruit with a knife and then eating the knife along with the fruit. The boy's mouth begins to bleed, and Andy, in a panic, removes the knife from his mouth and tries to take him to the hospital. However, the boy resists and refuses to leave the house. When Andy forcefully drags him outside, the boy is unable to cross a white circle drawn on the ground. His body begins shaking violently as if he is possessed. Andy is terrified by the scene, and the story suddenly flashes back to a week earlier point 1 week ago. Andy's father died in a mysterious accident while taking a shower. Andy and his sister Piper, who is nearly blind, are deeply affected. They were adopted by a woman named Laura, who also raises a mute boy, the same one Andy saw earlier. Laura had a blind daughter who tragically drowned in the swimming pool. Andy finds Laura's behavior very strange, especially when she introduces them to her dead dog, whose preserved body she still keeps. In the backyard, they discover a boy in the empty swimming pool aggressively holding a cat. When the cat cries in pain, Laura intervenes and takes the cat away. The boy, named Oliver, turns to look at Andy with an intense gaze that frightens him. Piper questions Oliver's appearance, but Laura lies, claiming he's a cute boy with curly hair, quite the opposite of reality. Laura begins measuring the children's height and assigns Piper her deceased daughter's room, and Andy the room next to hers. Andy starts to suspect Laura of eavesdropping, and when she touches his phone and messages, he angrily warns her to stay away from his things. At night, Laura takes Oliver downstairs to perform a ritual while showing him an old video. The next morning, Andy wakes up to find his bed wet, which is unusual for him. The sound of the shower triggers memories of his father's death, unsettling him further. Their father's funeral, Andy and Piper show no sadness, having suffered years of abuse. Laura oddly requests Andy to kiss his father's corpse, but he refuses. Later, Laura cuts the dead man's hair. On their way home, Laura tells the kids that it's important to celebrate after death to overcome grief. That night, they party and drink. Laura opens up to Andy about her declining mental state since her daughter's death and her longing to be called mother. Andy admits that he feels relief rather than grief after his abusive father's death. After Andy falls asleep, Laura secretly urinates in a container and pours it on his bed to make it appear he wet it again. This continues for days, embarrassing Andy, especially when Laura and Piper mock him. Avoiding the bathroom due to trauma, Andy uses the garden tap instead. He notices Oliver watching him from a window. Oliver catches a fly with his bare hands and eats it, horrifying Andy. Thinking Oliver is hungry, Andy offers him fruit, but Oliver grabs the knife strangely, injuring his hand. Andy turns away briefly, only to see Oliver eating the knife, causing mouth injuries, the very scene from the beginning of the movie. Andy tries to take him to the hospital, but Oliver again cannot cross the white circle. His body starts convulsing until Laura intervenes, scolds Andy, and takes Oliver to the basement where she performs another ritual on him. Andy grows more suspicious and sees Laura drawing circles on Oliver's head and chanting mantras, clearly dark magic. At night, Laura places Andy's father's hair in Oliver's mouth as part of the ritual. Andy remains haunted by his father's death and faints in the bathroom. He wakes up in a hospital, panicked and unable to be calmed. The doctors sedate him, and Laura visits him with perfume. Andy pleads with her to never let Piper go out in the rain, fearing something terrible will happen to her. But Laura ignores his request and plays in the rain with Piper, giving her dead daughter's clothes and asking her if she'd like to stay with her forever and call her mom. Piper, however, says Andy's name instead. Laura hides her anger behind a sweet smile. Laura later takes Piper to a secret freezer containing her dead daughter's preserved body. Andy returns home and sees mud on Piper's shoes, confirming his fear that Laura took her out in the rain. That night, Laura resumes rituals on Oliver. His eyes glow red, indicating possession. Laura applies the same perfume on herself, and punches Piper in the eye while she sleeps. In the morning, Piper believes Andy hit her because the perfumes scent matches. Laura manipulates Piper, suggesting Andy is becoming abusive like their father and shouldn't be trusted. Andy notices Oliver outside and records a video showing horns growing from Oliver's head. He has turned into a demon. When Andy tries to show the video, Laura attacks him and breaks his phone. He retaliates but can't bring himself to hit her. Hearing the scuffle, Piper mistakenly believes Andy hurt Laura and turns against him. Heartbroken, Andy goes to the council office that gave Laura their custody. There, he finds Oliver's photo among missing children and informs the council head about Laura's black magic and kidnapping. Meanwhile, at home, Oliver loses control. He bloats, eats uncontrollably, and even bites Laura. She hides in a room and uses a ritual to regain control over him. Andy and the councilwoman arrive, but Laura hides all evidence. Andy sneaks into the basement and is horrified to see Oliver eating a child's dead body. His scream draws the councilwoman's attention, and she too sees the horrific truth. She tries to escape with Andy, but Laura rams them with her car, killing the woman and severely injuring Andy. Laura then tries to drown Andy in a puddle. Piper, sensing danger, searches the house and touches a body in the washroom. It's Andy. Now she realizes Laura's true nature. When Laura finds Piper, she locks her in a room. Piper cleverly hides in a washroom again and discovers Andy's body. Laura finally confesses everything. She made a pact with a demon to bring back her daughter, but in exchange, she needed an innocent soul, Piper. Laura admits she brought Piper just to sacrifice her. Terrified, Piper attacks Laura with a glass and tries to escape, but is knocked unconscious. Laura takes her to the rain-flooded swimming pool to drown her. As Piper pleads for her life, she calls Laura Mom, which melts Laura's heart. She pulls Piper out and comforts her, wrapping her in a sweater. Just then, Oliver arrives to attack Piper. She fights him off and kicks him across the yard. Injured and in pain, Oliver vomits blood and crosses the white circle, suddenly turning back to normal. Piper escapes and is rescued by a passing car. The police arrive and save Oliver. In the post-credits scene, Laura is seen drowned in the pool with her daughter's corpse, having realized she could never bring her back. Absolutely, it was a lie. The ending of Bring Her Back, 2025, cleverly tricks the audience into believing that Laura's only motive was grief over her dead daughter. But in reality, everything, from adopting Andy and Piper to manipulating Oliver through dark rituals, was part of a demonic pact. Laura didn't just want her daughter back. She was willing to sacrifice innocent lives to achieve it. In the final act, where she pretends to feel love after Piper calls her mom, only to end up dead with her daughter, flips everything upside down. It wasn't redemption. It was a desperate, twisted illusion. The truth? Laura was never the grieving mother. She was the villain all along. Think you could survive in the Bring Her Back 2025 world? Tag a friend who'd fail miserably. Don't forget to subscribe, unless you're scared of the truth. Our next video reveals the lie the director tried to bury.